everyone, welcome to another big road trip video, and today we are taking my wife's 2022 purple Tesla Model Y long range from Iowa all the way to Muskegon, Michigan. Why Muskegon? Well, the Michigan Tesla Owners Group is hosting a big summer meetup, and we are going there to join into the festivities. So with that, let's check out what the nav is telling us what this trip is going to be like. Okay, right now we are sitting here at 96% here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and it's telling us that we can make it all the way to Aurora, Illinois, and get there with 11%. That's quite the run. And then we only have one more stop before the hotel. So I guess we'll see how this goes. I'm a little surprised that we can make it all the way from Cedar Rapids to the Naperville area without a stop, but that's what the nav is telling us. Next leg here is 223 miles and almost 4 hours of driving. So I guess with that, we'll hit the road. So before we actually hit the road, I was looking at the nav a little bit closer, and I don't like the route that it picked. It says that we're going to go all the way to Aurora, Illinois, which is then going to take us through the heart of Chicago, and I really want to avoid Chicago. So I went to a better route planner, see what it would say, and it told me to stop sooner in Peru, Illinois, which will allow us to completely bypass the Chicagoland area. So thanks to Better Route Planner for giving me that particular tip. Now, if you want to learn about EV road tripping, I have a video out that goes through all of this, covering a Better Route Planner, plug share, how to do planning in general, how to execute a road trip the most efficient way possible. So with that, let's look at the updated nav to see what our plan of attack is here today. Right, the new updated nav has us leaving the Cedar Rapids area and now going to the Peru, Illinois, which now will allow us to completely bypass as much of Chicago as possible. We'll make a stop here in, looks like, Chesterton. We're going to head all the way up here and stop here just before Grand Rapids because we're staying at a hotel that doesn't have a lot of charging. And then tomorrow we're going to be heading over to Muskegon, and there's not a lot of charging options. So we're just going to get topped off tonight before we head up to Muskegon to join in the festivities. So finally, with that, let's hit the road. Well, we made it to our first stop in Peru, Illinois, and that last leg, 164 miles, 283 watt-hours per mile, which is super good for a Model Y, and that's because it is summertime. So we're going to get plugged in. We're going to be here for about a half an hour, and good timing because we're also at a Hy-Vee grocery store, and we're going to grab some lunch. Now, before we get too far into this road trip video, I want to talk to you about a Tesla charger and an iPhone case from Magback.
Magback makes a phone mount and charger designed specifically for Teslas. It's easy to install and blends perfectly with Tesla's minimalist design. The magnetic mount works with any MagSafe phone, and if your phone isn't MagSafe compatible, they've got you covered with their phone case, which has an integrated magnet to secure your phone to the charger or stick it to any metal surface. For non-metallic surfaces, all you need to do is use the included mag stick. Magback cases protect your phone and come in a variety of colors and sizes. The phone mount is perfectly located in the Tesla, making it easy to reach, ideal for video calls, and it works with Face ID without distraction from the road. It fits all Teslas, including the updated Model 3 and the Cybertruck. Finally, while you're checking out their products, make sure you also take a look at their rim case wheel protectors that will save your wheels from unwanted curb rash. Now, I'll leave a link to all of the products in the description below, and if you use the checkout code IOWATESLAGUY, you'll save a full 15% on your order. One thing I really like to see when I'm road tripping is when Tesla is investing in their supercharger network. We're in Peru, Illinois, and this used to be just a V2, and these are V2s, but over here, we have a whole row of V3 chargers, so gotta like it.
Well, we're all done here in Peru, actually overcharged. We literally just went into the Hy-Vee, used the restroom, bought some lunch, ate it really quick, threw away our trash, and it said we could leave 5-10 minutes ago. So we are scheduled to get to our next stop with 26%, which is more than enough. But that's what happens when you're road tripping. See, road tripping and waiting to charge really isn't waiting to charge. The car often waits on you. So we're gonna get unplugged and we're gonna get on down the road. All right, we are at our second stop for the day, and it wasn't what we originally planned to do. We are at Stevensville, Michigan, because it said that we could get a little bit further. That last leg was 160 miles, 395 watt hours per mile. It's a little bit of a longer leg, and it was made worse because the traffic in the Chicagoland area was horrible bad. It probably added, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour to this last leg. So we're ready to get out and stretch our legs, but for now we're gonna have to plug in. It says we're gonna be here about 15 minutes, then we got one more stop before the hotel. So check back in a little bit. Just like that, a quick trip into the mire to use the restroom and back, and it says we have enough to make it to our next destination, which is Hudsonville, which is just before our hotel. We don't have to actually stop there, but we want to be able to get enough charged for tomorrow for the Muskegon Meetup. It's about an hour away from where we are, so we're gonna sit there and get a little bit of a charge, grab some dinner, and then make it to the hotel for the night. So next time you see me, we'll be checking in from the road and hopefully Hudsonville. For now, let's get unplugged. We just rolled into Hudsonville, Michigan. That last leg, 74 miles, 313 watt hours per mile, which is the highest of the trip, but still not bad. We're gonna get plugged in. This is the charge before the hotel. So really what we're gonna be doing here is we're going to be overcharging so we can get from here to the hotel, to dinner, back to the hotel, and then all the way up to Muskegon. And I don't really care if we have to charge on the way back from Muskegon, but we're gonna go ahead and plug in Muskegon, and then probably our hotel the night after that as our final destination, and just kind of see how this all shakes out, and we'll see what happens. Also, we got an Electrify America station here right next door. A lot of people looking like they are trying to charge. I don't know if they're being successful or not, but at least we have the supercharger network over here. And oh yeah, that right there, that's a new refreshed Model 3 Performance. First one I've ever seen. Super cool. Okay, we're all charged up. We're up to 65%. Did I stop at 65%? Well, let me show you. Okay, so we're sitting here at the supercharger. We're gonna go eat dinner at Mod Pizza, if you know, you know. Then we're gonna go to our hotel, and then we're gonna go up to the Heritage Landing meetup, and we wanna be able to get back to our hotel. I also plugged in the Muskegon supercharger, so it says right now we don't even need to stay there. So we're gonna get tomorrow to there with about 35%. That's if we probably drove there today with a warm battery. I'm expecting probably about an 5 to 8% drop off on that, because we're gonna start in the morning with a cold battery, but even with that buffer, we should be fine as far as doing whatever we need to do in Muskegon, and then hitting the supercharger on the way out of town, and then back to the hotel, and then we make our long journey home on Sunday. So with that, we'll check in later. Well, good morning, everyone. It is day 2 of this trip, and today is the big Muskegon Summer Meetup for Tesla. So we got up early. It's about an hour drive to Muskegon, and turned Sentry mode off in the car, didn't check the app, and the car was exactly where it was when we left it, which was about 50%. Now, another reason to charge a little bit more, as you can see I'm in the car right now, is that sometimes plans don't always go as planned, because we forgot something in our toiletries bag and we had to make a quick run to Walgreens to go pick it up. And that's just what happens, and that took us about 2 or 3% out of our way to go get that and come back. So always good to have a little extra buffer, especially when you're on a time crunch. So I'll check in from the road. We won't be supercharging until after the event, but we'll check in later and see how it's going. Well, we are toward the end of the big Tesla meetup in Muskegon. The big day's festivities are done. Spent all day out in the sun. You can kind of see it on my face. But we are here at the charger in Muskegon taking advantage of this time because we're going to go back and we're going to do a really cool light show. So that last length since we charged yesterday was 100 miles exactly, 278 watt hours per mile, because it was mostly just kind of in and around town. So we're going to get plugged in. We're going to be here for a little while. We're at a 15% state of charge, and we just want to give ourselves enough juice to get back to the hotel and give us a good starting point for the morning. So check it in a bit. All right, we're all charged up. We're at 83%. Just had to get some dinner, and it turns out just because the supercharger was completely full, this is a V2, it was only charging at a maximum about 68 kilowatts, which isn't great. But there's a Culver's nearby, so we just went and picked up a quick bite to eat. And as we were here at a full supercharger, there were 2 Cybertrucks charging, and just showing you how epic today's meetup was. We had over 15 Cybertrucks at this meetup, that you're here at a supercharger with 2 Cybertrucks, and it's like, there's a couple Cybertrucks, no big deal. I mean, it's just how it was. So we are going to get unplugged, and we are going to head back over to the meetup to participate in the light show. Hopefully that's going to be really cool. It's going to be around, they're saying, a couple hundred cars. So, and it's a custom built light show just for this event. So we'll check in a little bit later. Well, that was fun. All right, we made it back to the hotel. It was an awesome day at the Tesla Summer Meetup in Muskegon, and thanks so much to the Michigan Tesla Owners Group that hosted that, and the light show at the end was phenomenal. We had 10 Cybertrucks, an uncountable amount of cars all synchronized to the same light show. It was frankly spectacular. So we're gonna hit the road, head back to Iowa tomorrow, and so for tonight, shut off Sentry mode, don't check the app. With that, good night. We'll check in the morning. Good morning. It is the day after the Muskegon big meetup, and we pulled into the parking lot last night at 56%. And I said if you turned off Sentry mode and you didn't check the app, you would be fine. Well, I'm sitting here at 54%. So why did I lose 2%? Well, it's a little warm right now. The car is pretty warm, and I'm betting the over cabin temperature limit got hit, and it had to cool off the car and use a little bit of juice. No big deal. So with that, let's just figure out what the nav is telling us where we need to stop, because we didn't really plan this trip back, because we just figured we'd have enough juice. We already had gone this path before, so it would just pick a couple of spots. So we're going to be stopping in one little excursion, but it's looking like that we can make it all the way down to a V3 in Chesterton, Indiana. And then from there, we're going to stop again in Peru, Illinois, and then we're going to stop in the Quad Cities to see my parents, because today is Father's Day, see my dad. And then from there, we will make our way home and get home at some point later this evening. So I guess with that, we're just going to get packed up, hit the road. Well, slight change of plans. It wanted us to go to a different supercharger. So we are at St. Joseph, Michigan. It just said that we were going to get to the original supercharger with 2%. It was a little too close for everybody's comfort, so it just rerouted here. We're going to be here for just a little bit, because we're still going to stop at the same supercharger, I think, in Michigan City, and which isn't that far away. It's only like 40 miles from here, but the reason why it's having us do that is so we don't have to actually stop as we go all the way through Chicago. So we get all the way through the other side of Chicago, which I would prefer, and I think it's worth a stop. So that last leg sets the last charge in Muskegon, 146 miles, 300 watt hours per mile. Let's get plugged in. Well, we have enough charge to carry on. It's actually going to reroute us to Chesterton, which was the original plan, but we're at 38%. And we're going to get to Chesterton after a pit stop with about 19-20%. It's pretty good that we are stopping short, because this supercharger here is actually a low-grade V2, maximum 120 kilowatts. So it wasn't the best. Probably shouldn't have looked at it before pulling off the road, but because we were only here for a short period of time, we stopped, got something to drink, used the restroom, and now the car's waiting on us. So we're getting unplugged. We'll hit the road. Yikes. Made it to our next supercharger, ended up stopping in Michigan City, Indiana. That last leg was only 44 miles and 279 watt hours per mile. Again, we are charging up enough here to make it to the other side of Chicago. Our next stop should be Peru, Illinois. So we're gonna get plugged in, and we're gonna be here for just a little while, which is good because we're timing this right around lunchtime. So we're gonna grab something to eat, and then we'll be on our way. All right, we are all charged up. In fact, we are overcharged here because after eating, we ran in and used the restroom, but that's what you gotta do. We're gonna hit the road, and our next stop should be Peru, Illinois, although it says we're gonna get there with about 30-some%. So if we need to modify our plans, we'll modify our plans and push on further. But for now, Peru, Illinois is the next stop, so let's hit the road. All right, we've made it to Peru, no problems. Made it through the Chicago area. I hate the Chicago area as far as traffic. Got here with 20%, which because we had some wind coming from the south, good thing we had the buffer, but still 20%, it's plenty. That last leg was 126 miles, 317 watt hours per mile, which is probably due to the wind. Says we're going to be here for about 20 minutes, so let's get plugged in and get on our way. All right, well, we made it. We made it to our final destination. I'm sitting here in my garage. That last leg was 178 miles, 296 watt hours per mile. Let's take a look at the entire trip. Because I forgot to reset the trip meter, we got to add 170 miles to our total here. So that brings our grand total up to almost exactly 1,000 miles round trip from Iowa to Michigan in Muskegon for the Tesla Summer Meetup there, which was fantastic, and all the way back. So, and to top it off, we rolled in here like a boss with 5% left on the battery. So pretty good planning overall for the day. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate you tap on that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscriptions are always welcome. Until the next video, catch you later.